it's really strange for us because when we're working with Headley, it's really all about the music. There's no partying, there's no one in the room, it's us. It's Jacob, Brian, and I working on music, and you know.
And we'll go from 12 to 12, 6 days a week, for 3 months every 2 years, and we have for 13 years.
Yeah.
And to
It's a
see
huge
something
investment.
that we help build up and then to fall apart like that.
So for us, yeah, it's really difficult.
But you
'cause,
have no
know,
control what he does when he leaves the studio.
Well, that's the thing, and I'm not defending. I don't know
No.
what's, I'm just speaking for the studio side. We put our heart and soul into everything we do on those records, on every record we ever do. You know what I mean? And so yeah, it's pretty devastating on our side to see that happen. But I mean, obviously, it's a touchy subject, right? Because justice is more important than anything.
Absolutely.
So I'm not defending because I don't know what's going on there,
But like
for us,
going forward, like when you look at like you're going to work with an artist, like do you have to sort of open up the scope a little bit and go, is this person a douchebag? And am I sort of investing a bunch of time in this artist when their character is now part of the conversation of like.
It's funny you say that because a lot of times that's what makes a star. Is somebody who's
right.
a little off the rails. Like we've worked with some crazy rock guys, but man, they got that star quality, and that's sometimes
usually the craziest ones are the most
the
entertaining.
best frontmen.
It's the truth.
And it's like now it's like that kind of stuff doesn't fly anymore. So it's like it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Because it's endorsed. Like I remember Motley Crue back in the day. Like they got keys to the city, and they're like basically raiding the place, right? Like you can't. Those days are over. Yeah, exactly. But now
not even saying they were good or anything, but I'm saying it was accepted.
It was
celebrated.
It was celebrated.
It was celebrated at a point, and it's. Yeah, but there's some pretty serious allegations going against Headley, so obviously.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. The justice in this situation is the most important.
It's the most important, so I want to make that very clear. But
yes,
but it's very difficult for us when we just didn't know that was happening, weren't a part of it. It affects you a little bit. It's like, oh well, that sucks. We had a good thing going, like we're on a stride and we make great music together. And
some of the songs are really important to us. We're really proud of them, and now they're associated with all the negative.
Yeah, that's very
what sucks.
difficult. Like when you're reading about that girl who's like every time.
She had the Invincible tattooed on her arm, and she had it covered up.
You wrote that song.
Yeah, and I feel even though I'm not responsible, I feel bad. I feel bad that she feels bad.
Yeah, something that we created, or helped create.
I have a 9-year-old daughter, so I'm like, I don't want any part of that in my life, or that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like.
But the thing is, like I'm just bringing it back to the thing, like you have no control over what people do when they leave the studio and they go out on the road for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
And you don't really know, that sort of persona thing, that star quality thing, that's a big risk for everybody. But, I mean, does that affect how you guys think, in terms of like who you're going to work with?
I mean, if we flat out knew we were working with an artist that was just a bad person, I wouldn't want to work with them. But all the great singers are usually a little off, except Ryan Goldieman. He's the most normal dude.
Actually,
but
nicest guy. You and Keith,
actually,
right?
he is the nicest singer we've ever worked with.
But yeah, we exactly like the creative. Like, there's a lot of guys that have a lot of demons and problems. They don't do anything illegal, but they're not really sober for most of the process, and especially with that kind of thing, as long as it's not crossing a line, as long as they're not hurting anybody,
as long as it's not illegal, and you know what I mean. But for the most part,
Well, that's we all got